to TLC, where we dive into the heart of our local community, its wineries, restaurants, business, and real estate. Hi, I'm your host, Troy Anderson, along with my co-host, Pamela. And we are going to bring you a new perspective on what's happening in our community. I was jumping ahead. I wanted to introduce Maggie already. We do have a guest this week from Child's Playbox here in Woodinville. So welcome to the show, Maggie.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks
Awesome.
for coming on the show. We're excited to hear all about Child's Playbox. But before we do that,
We got a bottle of wine.
I know, segment 1, Sipping on Success, where we open a bottle of wine, not always wine, but this week it is wine, from one of the local wine tasting rooms, wineries, and we partake and see what it's all about. So what have you got for us this week, Troy?
Hey, I've got Mullan Road Cellars, which is located in Wine Walk Row in the schoolhouse district down there by Walla Walla Steakhouse. They are the Washington version of Cake Bread Cellars from Napa Valley. So we did a ribbon cutting for them and was able to partake in their wines, and they're really good. So hopefully you'll enjoy.
I had Chardonnay when we were at the ribbon cutting, and now we're open. What are we opening? What are we trying?
Well, I was getting there. Cabernet. And
Don't jump ahead, Pamela.
we're all jumping ahead today.
I know.
Just
We're excited to try something
I
new.
know. So it's Cabernet. It's 80% Cab Sauvignon and 12% Cabernet Franc, 8% Merlot, and it's from the Royal Slope AVA, which is Columbia Valley. It's kind of North Columbia Valley, so a little bit colder growing. Not a lot, but
Okay, and that's going to make a difference to the taste of the wine?
yeah. And it's also right by the Columbia River, so you get cooler nights. So you get hot sun during the day, ripens the grapes, and then the cool at night kind of adds some complexity to the wine for sure.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
Sorry, I missed that ribbon cutting. I heard about that, but I was not able to go. But
It was fun.
sounds like you got to do some tasting.
yeah, it
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would expect, right? Who's going to
invites you
show
to
up?
go visit them. For
Yeah,
sure. They're
we're
right
always
there.
over there. I love that
okay,
area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that's
really
great.
nice.
It's good. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's a nice, generous pour you've got for us there. Thank you very much.
Well, it's
Troy.
after lunch.
This is
It's
true.
Friday.
This is true. It's Friday. It's after
How many
lunch.
excuses do we need, right?
We don't need any, especially not on this show.
No, no.
Not in this area
No.
either.
All right. Well,
Cheers.
cheers, everybody. Okay.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at this. Okay, it's very dark.
Mm-hmm.
Color of it.
Ooh.
This. I don't want to use the word smell. That's just not good enough. The bouquet.
That is
It's-
true.
Bouquet is good, yeah.
It is. It's really nice. Okay.
It's reminding me of fall, especially with this cooler day we're having.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm a red wine drinker all year round.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about
Ooh.
this wine. This is good, right? But I'm just going to enjoy it for a little bit. You can talk.
You want me
Troy.
to talk about it?
Yeah,
Okay.
you talk about it.
It's-
You and Maggie talk about it. I'm just going to sit back and relax.
I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
tasting.
Mhm.
I'll let you know when I'm done. I'm just kidding.
It's got a lot of fruit forward. Tannins kind of hit you mid palate. And it's got a great finish. Really good wine. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, it's got
It's
a
very
nice
drinkable.
Very
full
drinkable.
body, but
Mm-hmm.
a good finish.
It's got legs on it.
It does have legs on it, yeah.
I learned
Nice.
that a couple of episodes ago. Legs. I'm like, what are they talking about? And that's,
The sugar?
well, it's the drip down on the
Yeah.
inside of the
The
glass that you can
viscosity
see.
on the
Yeah.
inside, yeah.
So how you kind of, I guess it's the thickness of it, right? That gives it
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you that that tannins kind of hit you in the middle of the tongue as opposed
Yeah.
to the outer edges, which is what I'm used to normally with a red wine. I always feel like it's those kind of outer edges of my tongue that dry out. This was dead in the middle,
Yeah.
but it dissipated really quickly,
Yeah.
and then I was just left with this really smooth finish all over the tongue.
Yeah, for sure.
This is really good. Okay, I'm done.
Good.
Good. You're not
Yeah.
expecting any more work out of me today, right?
No, this is Friday, and it's Friday light.
This is really good.
Friday
So Royal
night.
Slope, Washington, Cabernet 2019 from
From
Mullan Road Cellars.
Mullan Road Cellars, and they are actually out of Walla Walla, but they do pull their fruit from that Royal Slope AVA, like I said.
It is good. Maggie,
Go
what do you
check 'em
think?
out. I love it. I think it's a nice full body.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be great with a nice steak dinner.
Nice steak dinner for
Love it.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because every time we talk about a steak dinner with red wine, Troy usually brings up.
Russell's.
Oh, I've never been.
Never been? Oh,
You know,
that's
Sunday is our anniversary, so I'm trying to figure out where to
Oh.
go. So maybe that would be good.
that
yeah.
would be a good one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If you like steak.
I do like a little bit.
Yeah.
My husband likes more.
Gotcha.
Well, they have
They
other
have great
options.
seafood too. He's a really good chef.
I follow them on Facebook. They always have amazing posts and,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
food pictures and great reviews. Everybody talks about them.
Yeah.
So I think it might
Just
be
be
a good
a
try.
bit cognizant if you don't like your steak too rare. Make sure that you communicate.
But you can always cook it more. You can never.
Yes.
never
Don't get
go
me wrong,
backwards.
Go the
the
other
steak
way.
is phenomenal, but if you're somebody that's a little squeamish, you might want to just tell them that ahead of time.
Yeah. Well, we're originally from Texas, so we're
Oh.
we're
so
meat
you're good.
eaters.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. So we
Okay.
appreciate that. But
Yeah. Okay, well,
Yeah.
sounds like that you've got somewhere to go on Sunday, and this is a really good wine.
And this is a great wine.
Yeah. Now, this is
Gonna
my
go
first
them.
time trying anything from Mullan Road. I didn't
Right,
know
me
about
too.
them until we went to the ribbon cutting. I think this is really quite exceptional.
It is. It's a great Cabernet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their space that they just opened in Woodinville is
Really
actually
nice.
really nicely kind of laid together. They seem to have it. It's almost like it's split into two sections. There's the tasting area, and then they have another more kind of casual area, lounge area
Yeah.
where you can
Nice.
sit and they had music playing. So I feel like that's going to be.
And they're located in a good spot too. They're kind of not like tucked back in the the wine rock row there, but they're tucked. They're not tucked. They're kind of on the edge of the playground area, so
Yeah.
you can still sit in there and maybe have some kids or something
Yeah,
out there playing.
bring the
Yeah,
kids,
absolutely.
have the
yeah.
wine.
Bring the kids and
It's the best part about the city is kid-friendly wineries.
For sure.
Absolutely.
I mean-
Which brings us on to our next segment. But before we do that, we're going to take a really quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about kids and child's play box with Maggie. All
sounds
right.
fantastic.
We'll be right
Be
back after this really short break.
This podcast is brought to you by Vaughn's 1000 Spirits, Gusto Bistro. Hey there, homeowners and home buyers. If you're looking for a real estate team who genuinely cares about your needs, 10 Home Team is here for you. We're not just focused on making sales, but on building long-term relationships with our clients and serving our wonderful community. Whether you're buying or selling, let us guide you through the process and help you achieve your real estate goals. Connect with 10 Home Team today and discover a better way to navigate the market. Welcome back to TLC 10 Life Community Podcast, where we're going to do our community connection with Maggie from Child's Playbox. So, welcome again, Maggie.
Thank you.
We're excited to learn about Child's Playbox. To kick things off, can you share a story behind, how you started the business, what it does? I know it's a subscription-based service, right?
So we had a brick and mortar retail store that was 22 years old. We purchased it in 2018.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, COVID shut everything down after all of our efforts to revamp. We're a young family, we had young children, so it made sense. We felt really a part of the community to get to meet the other families, support their growing kids' needs, and affordably help the community with like outgrowing their clothes and needing new clothes.
Gotcha.
So we implemented a new point of sale. We started collecting emails. We started making friends. Like, we knew everybody on a first name basis. They could text us and ask us for things, and like,
Oh, fun.
it was wonderful. Our kids grew up in that store basically. They were very, very little with the one. We have two now, but so unfortunately COVID shut us down, and the community still needed us. The kids are still growing. They're still
You still need clothes.
You still need clothes, and especially during COVID times, people were looking to get out and do things and be outside, and they were going to the mountains and going skiing and realizing that their snow pants didn't fit anymore. And so at that time, it sort of organically became a subscription service. I don't think we were intent on going that direction. We thought we were going to have a store that was just going to be up and running and growing, and
Gotcha.
so the customers would call us and say, hey, I need some pants. My son is growing out of everything, and I've got this bag here that he doesn't fit anymore. Do you want to pick him up, or how can it work? I said, yeah, you know what? I've got some things here. Let me just text you some pictures. So
Okay.
I would text him pictures, and they'd say, oh, great. Can I get those? How can I get them from you? I'm like, well, I'll send you a PayPal, and then I'll just drop them off. I'm going to be in the city tomorrow, and I'll just bring them to you, and I'll pick up that other bag.
Right.
And so it started to just become this trade. And because we had built such a community there, we started emailing people about it, saying, hey, we're still here. Still, we'd love to support you, and we need your support for our business. And just from there, felt like a UPS driver. I was all over town. I had to use like logistic apps on how to get make the most of my time, because I had like 45 different packages to start sending out to people. And I would start really early in the morning, and it would say first stop, second stop, third stop. I would be all over town.
Oh, wow.
And just delivering.
You could have been a UPS driver.
I could have.
That sounds like a lot.
It was a lot. And so, I mean, it just happened. I think people knew who we were. They knew my face. They knew my kids. I know their kids, So
That's
they were
fun.
like, I trust Maggie. I trust AJ to help us, get good clothes and help.
Now, the brick and mortar store was just a kind of regular consignment store. I don't mean regular in a negative sense, but just your traditional kind of consignment store where people could drop off their clothing and purchase additional items.
Exactly.
And so for those people that don't know about the brick and mortar store that you had originally, or maybe they do, they just don't realize that the correlation between that and what you're doing now. Where was the brick and mortar store, and what, was it the same name, so that people can kind of track this journey of yours?
Yeah, so the store was actually in a little area of Oakland, California called Rock Ridge.
Okay.
And we had lived there. My husband got transferred for work from Texas to California, and I wasn't working at the time, and I thought, it'd be really fun to kind of do something in the kid world. That was my entire world at the time, was just days and nights and weekends with kids. So I thought this would be great. We found this business for sale. We jumped into it and ran it for a while and grew it from there. So it just started in Oakland. We ended up moving up here to Washington in June of 21. So we've been here just 2 years. The business did start, though, in August of 2020 from California.
Okay. And it was easy to transition it from California up here to Washington, or has that been...
Pretty easy, because I started to get to the point where everything was online anyway. The customers, I was messaging with them directly and saying, like, here's what I have, here's the items, I'm sending them pictures. And then I said, hey, would you guys be willing to just pay for a box every month? I'll come pick up your clothes, and then you tell me what you need. And we can just have a service from there. So it built that way, and we just packed up our inventory and took it with us.
Perfect. Okay, so now how do you translate that here in Woodinville and the surrounding area? How are you... I want to get back to kind of the different services and experiences that you package up in those subscription services in a second, but I want to kind of appreciate how you took what you were doing in California, and now you're making it work here in Woodinville and the surrounding area.
So we moved up here originally to be close to family, and it just made, I feel like COVID just kind of launched us there a little bit sooner. We were going to already plan on being here. And having the business sort of not geographically tied anymore, we were able to go wherever we wanted. We were able to just transition it from supporting a local community in Oakland to supporting the local community that we're in right now. So the business itself has two different products, basically the same product. You take a small survey, answer what you need that month, what size your child is, if you need school clothes or summer clothes, or maybe you're going to Hawaii in December and you need shorts and things.
Which you're not going to find in store because it's out of season.
Right. Out of season. So I think we kind of offer that concierge service of, I say it's kind of like a resale by mail. You tell us what you need that month, we ship it and deliver it. We always include a resale or a return label so that you can send in your outgrown clothes.
Okay.
And at that point, it becomes a trade. So and we give them a value for what they sold us, add it to their account, and maybe their next month's box is going to be $20 off. So they're still getting the same amount of clothes that we would send each month, but they're getting it at a discount.
Okay. Cool.
And we use those clothes then to give to the next family that needs that size. Not everything that people send us is going to be sellable, I think. And we have taken that into account. Obviously, our whole business is about keeping great clothes on kids longer and making sure that they are in the hands of the families that need them. So we have like a single month box, and then we have like a quarterly box. So you can get 3 months at one time, or you can get 1 month.
Okay. All right. So a lot of people are getting more familiar with subscription services, and one of the biggest subscription services out there for clothing we all have heard of is Stitch Fix. Okay, so it's kind of, it sounds like you're kind of built a little bit around that, but there must be some nuances to your business that you're doing that's different from there. Whereas Stitch Fix, you can take some and send some back. How does your subscription service work?
Sure. So we kind of use the saying of, we're kind of like a Stitch Fix meets Poshmark.
Okay.
And if you're familiar with Poshmark, it's all resale clothes.
Yeah.
And so you buy used clothes and it's at a discount.
Really?
You can get great brands and it's all
Not
kind
heard
of
of Poshmark?
I have not.
Okay, I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah, it's a pretty big platform there.
There's another one called ThreadUp as well.
ThreadUp is great too.
There's a few of them.
Yeah, different in the sense of where we are not creating new clothing. We're not. I know Stitch Fix has their own brand. They have their own factories wherever they're located that make those brands for them.
I like the fact that you recycle. I think that's great.
It's more for the sustainability.
Right.
I had trouble getting that word out there. Did you notice that? Sustainability.
There's a lot of syllables in all these words. We really like to just focus on the fact that like 15% of all of the clothes produced or more, the clothes that people buy, end up in landfills. They're not, and that could be for multiple reasons. People either don't know what to do with them, or they are damaged or destroyed to where you wouldn't be able to pass them on or sell them. And we get that too. I mean, we get all kinds of stuff that I can't sell, but people don't know what to do with it. Right.
They don't know that there are actually companies out there that will take that clothing and use the fabrics for other things.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like I won't call it a rag merchant, but kind of they take that material and they recycle it in a different way.
You can use it for creating stuffing in furniture, or I mean, we've actually gone down that road. We have kind of different things that we want to be able to put into the business, whether that's creating dog beds from clothing that can't be used anymore, just to make it usable again. So I think our service, where it is similar to them because it is a customized box per kid, per size, for age, anything, we want those clothes back if they're still usable. I want you to, and I'll buy it back from you. Yeah. So I'm going to give you this Hannah Anderson shirt. You can wear it. You can pass it on to your next kid. They can wear it. You can give it to a cousin. I don't care. When they all outgrow it, you can send it back to me. Yeah. And I will still, pay for it and put it in a credit so you can get another item from us. Yeah. So it's really just keeping it reusability, keeping these great clothes that are great quality. I mean, there are certain brands that don't hold up as well.
Yes, of course.
So those
we don't need to mention them.
Yeah, no. There's everyone knows there's certain brands that do hold up well, that are meant for multi-generational kids use. And we focus on that. We focus on classic kids clothes. A lot of gender neutral, a lot of no sayings or slogans, not a lot of like really high trendy fashion styles, because those tend to not last as long, and I don't get a lot of those back, they're kind of more once, but
you're looking for less of the fast fashion stuff and more of those, jeans and things that the kids can rough and tumble in and really, use well, I would say. The things that we can't buy, there's an organization in Seattle that we give to, and they allow foster children to shop for free.
Oh, that's awesome.
What's the organization?
It's called a Treehouse.
Okay.
Yeah, treehouse.org, I think, is their website. And so we love to, I try to sort very nicely. Like sometimes I'll say, here's a pile and it's play clothes, and I'll advertise it as play clothes, and I'll put it on the Buy Nothing group, and I say, come pick up this bag of 4T. I wouldn't even want to give those to like a foster child, but if somebody wants to keep them for digging in the dirt and rolling and whatever, wear into preschool because you're going to get them trashed, then that's a different level. Yeah. But for the foster kids, like if it's just got like a little paint on the cuff, or maybe the jacket just has like, I don't know, a little stitch or something, it's still really usable. I think it's very special for them to get something of their own.
Sure.
That's what makes you unique. That was one of my questions, is like, what makes you unique in the service that you're providing? And I would say that's it. That's that's all you need to say.
Unique.
Yeah. Cool. I want to create a really easy way, and we pay shipping to get that stuff. So I pay people for the clothes. I pay people to ship it to me, and I just try to make it easy to keep these clothes out of the landfill.
That's great.
I like that a
Thanks.
lot.
So from like an entrepreneurial perspective, if you can tell our listeners, has there been any challenges or any success stories or anything like that?
It's always a challenge, I think, but it's so rewarding. Like, I just got a message in one of the boxes that our customer sent us for their clothes, and she always sends it and says, not always, sometimes she puts it in there or not, but she'll say, thanks so much for finding these clothes another home. And then they say, we love your service. And I got an email this morning from a woman who just got her first box. And she said, I was very impressed with the quality. I really loved the items you picked out. I do want to send back a few things that didn't work because I have hundreds of thousands of items and they're all unique.
Wow.
I can't, there's no way anyone can pick what they're getting, but they can say, hey, I need leggings and I need pants and I need shirts. That's why we try to keep it really gender neutral and friendly. Or if they want big twirly dresses, then I can send that too. But it's always going to be an element of surprise.
Right.
And so I think some of the challenges are just obviously how do I relay that message to somebody saying, you're going to get a box of used clothes and you don't know what you're getting.
Right.
And
it's kind of like fun, right?
Yeah.
In a sense, yes, I think so because I have taken it up to where I know the brands that last. I know the brands that people appreciate. I know, and maybe I don't always nail their style or like what they're really looking for, but I think if they are most of the time super on board with the mission and the idea of getting great used kids clothes that are going to be worn and loved and passed on or sold back, there's a lot behind that. You kind of, so it's hard. I think it's hard to relay the message to get the new customers because like I said, it's like, hey, surprise box, pay me for this thing you don't know what you're getting.
Right.
But once they get it and realize this, reciprocal sort of relationship. And I know these kids. This is the crazy part. Like, I've never met them, but they've been with me for 2.5 years already. I've grown with them literally through their sizes. I see them send stuff back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember this jacket.
Right.
Yeah.
And now I get to give it to another kid,
That's
neat. And so it's
cool.
so special. Yeah.
Sounds like you're building community there.
Yeah. And I love to be local because if I can get more families in the community, then that keeps the clothes here.
Yes.
I'm not paying for shipping. I'm not paying, and I don't mean monetarily paying, but I mean there's a lot that goes involved in that, packaging and and logistics and gas. And if we're trying to be super environmental, then I want to stay as close to home
as possible. I was just going to say, everything else that you're doing is very environmentally friendly, and you're looking at that sustainability angle. How do you combat that if you're shipping across country? But if you're doing it, it's not every week that you're sending to these families once a month or sometimes quarterly, right?
Yeah, and sometimes they skip months, and so they might get 4 boxes a year. If they put it on hold, you can pause or skip or get as many as you want. We do try to use compostable packaging. I have some compostable poly bags that will ship them in, and it says on the bag to please put me in a compost. And so we're trying to stay on board with that as best we can. We use recycled cardboard for some of the boxes. I mean, obviously we want the clothes to arrive nicely, and sometimes those poly bags don't make it through those drivers and the weather and so but we haven't had any complaints on that. We always try to have
you're doing your part for the planet.
Yeah. I feel like on the resale side alone, a little bit of the packaging is kind of just going to be the way it's going to have to be in order to make those clothes work.
Yeah, you want them to get there and be presentable.
Yeah, well, because you're marketing your brand when you send that stuff, right?
Yes.
Because you want it to arrive nicely, but then people know that you do take care and you're passionate about what you're doing, so that then they will want to use that service again and again and tell their friends about it. I mean, that's
of course
marketing in a nutshell. It's about the brand that you present. I love that. Yeah. Should we talk a little bit more about community?
Yeah, so is there anything that's vital to the growth and sustainability of your business in our area here?
Yeah, I think it definitely, there's no way for me to compete with the other large thrift store here in town. I don't, we all know who that is, but we have a different value. I want Woodinville to know that they don't have to give to those big thrift resellers. We take donations too. I would love for people to reach out to us and rather give it to a small business than to a large company. And so I think community-wise, we really want to just be part of it, a bigger part, more of a well-known sort of a thrift sort of kids resale, by mail here locally.
Right. I like that idea that it's not always the big box stores.
Yeah.
There's, because we don't have anything else. we have your subscription service, and I know there was something here a few years ago, but we don't have anything else in Woodinville now, do we?
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
I mean, a lot of those resale stores just, and ours included, it's like a month-to-month thing, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so expensive, and everyone asks that too. They say, well, wouldn't it be easier if we just had a store again? Have you ever considered having a store? And I'm just like,
have you looked at rent prices?
it's not possible. Yeah, I mean, if we want to survive on being able to keep these clothes on the kids affordably and sustainably, then it doesn't make sense to spend $15,000 a month on overhead.
Right.
So,
we just need to make sure we're getting the word out so people know about the subscription service, right?
Exactly.
Well, you're already doing that a little bit because you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, right?
Yeah.
You're a new member to the Woodinville Chamber of Commerce, so that's going to help get the word out.
I'd like to get the word out.
Joined my daughter's PTA at school and sponsored the PTA as a business.
That's a great community involvement.
Yeah, and just talking to everybody. I mean, it's easy to talk to people and see cute kids in the store all the time, and it sounds weird, but I'm like, I love your kids' clothes.
101 of sales.
I know.
Maggie. 101 of sales.
Compliment the kids.
Exactly.
I know. I make it a goal to try to hand out at least like 4 or 5 business cards a week. Just like meet people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have such a big community here, and I think it's very involved in the kids in the area. Between the North Shore School Foundations and all of the back to school things. There's definitely, I think, scope there for you to be involved in.
Of course,
lots of things.
There's a few hurdles, I think, that we run into as far as like some of the Facebook groups and communities. I think we had talked about that before, where they don't allow you to do a lot of
advertising,
self-promotion.
Yeah, they have like Business Mondays or Business Wednesdays or something.
I think
like
those
that.
just get so lost.
They do.
I feel like you just add your business to a thread of like local landscapers and local, car detailers, and those are great businesses too that everybody needs to see. But if they're in this like Sunday thread, it just, I don't know. I think there could be a better way without sounding too soliciting,
Yeah.
I'm a super advocate of the chamber, and if you don't know this, just adding your business to the chamber's website increases your SEO dramatically.
That's good.
So,
I didn't know that. I just was.
If you put
I
as
just
many
am happy to get
details in,
involved.
I mean your keywords into your description, it'll help it even more.
Yeah.
That's a good tip for anybody that's listening.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Join your chamber.
Join your chamber,
Yeah.
exactly.
Join your chamber, and your SEO will increase.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're already engaging with the community, and that's we're huge advocates of that.
Yeah.
That's why we do this podcast, is for making the community aware of what's going on. But looking to the future, what exciting developments or expansion plans do you envision for Child's Playbox, and how do you plan to continue evolving, meeting the changing needs of the the families that you help?
Yeah. We have a few things lined up right now. We're working on a new website. It's going to be a bit more not so homemade feeling. I think, starting as a small business and trying to launch a website and a subscription business on your own is challenging enough.
Yeah.
We were surprised after we created the website to log in a couple weeks later and realize we had 4 orders sitting there. We didn't even know people had found us.
Right.
We were like, oh my gosh, people are buying it. I was like, what do I do?
You jump in
and you just
get
jump
on.
in. It's evolved ever since. But some of the goals right now, obviously, a really great website, a really easy user experience, some different box customization options where they can get like a single box. You can get a 2-kid box, which allows them to have 2 sizes. They can do the quarterly box still, and then also a marketplace where some of the items that maybe don't fit into a monthly box, like formal wear or ski boots, or they can still purchase like as a membership, have like a discount code to buy those things from us as a one-off, because we do get a lot of those items
the
too.
special order type
The specialty things, like
Yeah.
big poofy holiday dresses, that are like very specific, and somebody kind of needs to see those before you buy it,
Right.
instead of like a surprise.
So in that respect, then, would you send photos of those things if it's more specialized? Because at the moment you don't with the
There's
boxes,
no photos,
right?
it's a surprise, based off of your preferences.
Yeah.
But those would be listed as like a add to cart option.
Okay.
So they could
like
just
a la
go.
carte menu.
Yes.
Of
So those would have pictures. Yeah. We'd say like, here's size 4, holiday dresses, and then they could pick from there. And then next year we're looking at some real estate to have a bigger sort of warehouse area. Right now it's a storage facility that we have everything sort of organized and set up to where we can ship things, and they get checked in, and we don't have to, they don't have my home address, and this is like, I have an office to go to, and But it's tight. You know, we have so much inventory. I want to see it all on hangers again. I want to be able to like say, okay, they want this. I want to run over there and grab it and go over here and get it. You know, and so I need space.
Right.
So so that's where this relationship comes in well too. You know, you guys are going to know exactly the space I need to find. So
I guess one thing that we didn't ask was, you know, what's the age range that you're dealing with for, you know, for these subscription services? Is there, you know, do you have a cutoff or, I mean,
that's a great question. Yeah. So we do cut off at size 12.
Okay.
Yeah. I think what we found is that the kids that are in the bigger sizes tend to have a bit more preference on picking their own clothes, picking their styles.
What age is that?
It depends on the kid, actually.
Well, sure,
yeah, maybe like 9 or 10.
Yeah, okay, I would agree.
8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
My daughter right now is wearing like a 7, 8, and I don't think we have ever actually gone shopping together to buy. Like sometimes she'll go with me if I need to get something, but we don't. We go to the thrift stores. We go through the inventory that we already have. I mean, I've paid for this inventory. We have it. I'm like, you have the choice of all of these
She
clothes.
has her very own clothing store.
She does. And if it's a special thing at school and they're like, it's Hawaiian shirt day, I'm like, you better go look in that.
Yeah.
You better go look down there in that size 8 bin down there, you know. So it's just so interesting that my kids just don't. They think everything they get is new. Because it's new to them.
Yeah.
And that's like so special. But I do understand where some parents don't have that, don't have the tons of inventory just sitting around.
Yeah.
And they'll say, oh yeah, you know, we're kind of growing out of it. Sophie wants to pick her own clothes now, and you know, thank you for your service, which is awesome. It's interesting though, on the other side, the other end, is that the infant clothes from like 0 to 12 months are just so ubiquitous. They are everywhere. I mean, you get hand-me-downs when you have a baby. You get new clothes when you're having a baby, especially firstborn children.
Right.
The things you get from like your baby shower are just like tons and tons. I get people selling me baby clothes that still have the tags on because you just can't.
Well, because it's all new, fresh, and
they
exciting,
grow out of it so quickly.
They do. I mean, within weeks they're out of it, so you don't even get a chance to wear it half the time.
And it's like seasonality. How's the weather where you are? I sent you this pink tutu onesie, but now it's going into winter when she can fit into it. And so it's interesting. I get tons of baby clothes shipped, but I don't have a lot of baby subscribers.
Okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about like choices,
It does.
they grow out of them very quickly.
Yeah, we had all kinds of stuff that was brand new that we hand me down to other people.
Yeah.
So I think our sweet spot is between 2 and 6.
That probably makes sense.
On the sizes for parents.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like the fastest growing. That's like the hardest wear and tear. That's when the biggest falls are happening.
I was going to say that's when you get the rough and tumble and they're
really falling
bad.
off their bikes. They're rolling down the hills. They're scraping everything, you know. So those are the ones we go through the fastest. But 0 to 12 is where we say we'll take anything from 0 to 12.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad I asked now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's good. This is all very fascinating. I love. I mean, Troy knows this, but I love clothes, so it doesn't matter whether it's his clothes or.
Well, you have a great fashion. You have great. I would love to take a peek in your closet and be like, oh my gosh, look at all this color and fun.
We can arrange that.
Okay, perfect.
You are a style consultant.
I am. Yes, I'm a formally trained image consultant. So yeah.
Oh my
Image
goodness.
consultant,
Yeah. No, that's fine. I'm an image consultant.
Look at these
and
hats. She's
wardrobe
switching on,
stylist and a bridal stylist, but and also I do marketing. So anyway.
Wow. Okay. Well, I have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to our community here, where we really love the community where we live and work. And we always like to discover what other people like about the community. If there's any hidden gems you want to share with our listeners.
And especially as you're new to there. Newish.
Newish, 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Putting you on the spot.
You are, but there are so many great things. I'm always on that Woodinville Neighbors Facebook group, and I like to see that. Are you on there? Yeah, I think I've seen you on there. But somebody posted the other day asking where the best chicken wings were.
Oh.
Okay.
And I was like, I thought for sure, I was like, everybody's going to say, like, Hollywood Tavern, right? Because they have, like, the best chicken wings. I don't know how they do it. They do, like, a confit style.
Yeah.
They are amazing. They're so crispy, and they're not, like, saucy.
They're not super messy.
Oh, okay.
They are delicious. Yeah. So we just love finding those little things. Like, we had some friends come to visit, and we took our bikes out and went down through Wilmot Park and rode all the way down to the wineries. heard some music on a Tuesday, and we're like, what's going on? And so we made our way over, and finding out that like Chateau has like free
Oh, yeah,
music
they
on
have free
Tuesdays
in
with
the
food
courtyard there.
trucks. I know.
How
I'm
did
like,
I not know this?
This is
I didn't go this year.
AJ and I are
Unlucky.
still always, and this is our 4th state together. We've moved a lot and grown up in different places, and the fact that we have family here and we've built this community here and our kids are in school, we're just like so in love with it here. It's like probably my favorite state so far.
Right.
I mean, I've traveled to other places and states and countries, but living, you know, full time where you're making friends and it's such a wonderful community. Everybody's so nice.
I think it's hard to beat. I mean, one, it's beautiful.
It's so
but
pretty.
It's friendly.
And it's
It
so
is.
quaint.
There's a lot of things to do. You could go to the Sound or the ocean even on one day and go to the mountains the next. And
And go to, there's like, you know, Seattle's right there for like music concerts if you want something bigger, or you just stay local and like walk. Yeah, so like I feel like everything is here and it's still like enough to feel homey,
Right.
where we're like part of something. You know, I love running into people at the store all the time. I'm like, oh, hey, hi, you know. And now that like I'm starting to know more people, it's like, but I think there were some cities we've lived in where like I didn't want to run into people.
Oh, really?
I didn't want to like see anybody. But here I'm like, oh yeah, PTA. Oh yeah, store. Oh, I met you at the concert. Like we met a couple at a Chateau concert over the summer.
Okay.
We were sitting right next to him, and I was trying to like save space, you know, on the grass because they're like, our friends are coming, but I felt so bad because people are trying to like move in.
Right. You got to move in and
she
claim your
just
territory.
she just jumped up and like started helping us. And she was like, here, I'm gonna sit over here. You guys need this space too. And I was like,
Cool.
dang, like we've already hung out with them twice and like went and had dinner and our kids are. I was like, this is amazing. Like what a special place.
I think that kind of just speaks to this community as a whole. I mean, that's just what people are like, right? When the concert series at Wilmot Gateway a few weeks ago, it's the same thing, right? Everyone was very jolly and just random strangers that will start talking to you, which is nice.
We were there too. I tried to go every single week and just talk to people about Child's Play.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many kids and families, and without being too, you know, approaching and I want people to enjoy their time, but I'm also like, these people need me.
Yeah, for
they
sure.
need my service. So I'm like really cautious, but I'm like, hey, I have a kids resale store. I would love to talk to you, you know, and everybody was really open to it. So
cool.
I think that's awesome. Yeah. So I want to go back to the chicken wings really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
You said that the tavern was good. Did anybody
Hollywood
say
Tavern.
anything different on there on the chicken wings? Putting her on the spot here. I'm just like, I'm just
I can't
interested to
remember
know.
the runner-up. I only remember the one I was like, no.
I did
I
not
think
know.
It was
Pizza
another-
Coop has good wings as well.
Oh, really?
The Pizza Coop, the pizza place downtown.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned a place in Bothell, so I won't mention. I don't know. That's out of our.
No, it's
I
Bothel's good too.
Well, I don't know that the name of it. It was like a called the Retreat or something. I don't know. I'm not
I
gonna
don't
say.
know. Does anybody know where there's some really good like salt and vinegar wings? Because that would be really good right about now.
Salt and vinegar
Yum.
wings at Wooden Creek.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just had
Oh, they're so good too.
a business meeting there, and he ordered salt and vinegar wings.
Oh,
Yummy.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's a
all
great
right.
family-friendly place too.
It
Oh,
is,
it is,
yeah.
yeah.
There's just so much. There's so
We
much
just talk
there.
about this stuff all day.
I know,
I know.
you could. I mean, you just start going. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, this
Oh,
place
yeah.
and
Oh,
this
yeah.
place.
What
and
about
this
that?
place.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, there's so
We
many.
try to be as good as we can and cook from home during the week
Uh-huh.
because I mean, obviously, it's pricey to eat everywhere, you know. But like,
For
we'll
sure.
have a treat and ride our bikes.
But yeah,
and-
if you can have a treat, something, you know,
Yeah.
where would you go? So for you,
Yes.
you'd go and get the wings.
I know.
Uh,
Even for my birthday, my husband's like, "Where do you want to go?" I was like, "I think I just want some wings and a beer." I'm like, "That's easy peasy."
I love that. Wings
Yeah.
and a beer.
Yeah.
I don't ask for much these days.
That's fantastic.
The atmosphere there is pretty good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's super fun.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Fire pit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kids can play in the rocks. I mean, they
Music,
find
yeah.
anything to do, so they
Mhm.
just like
Yeah.
play in the gravel.
There's just so much to enjoy about our community. I just think it's we're all
wonderful.
very privileged to live here, I think.
Yeah. And even today when I went and found those little macarons for you, the
Yeah, she brought in some macaroons.
I know.
from
I'm
Bow Bay.
Looking
They-
forward to
Bobe, and they're
Bobe.
by
They're over there by the Ulta.
Oh, they're
Ulta,
so
okay.
you know, with TJ Maxx's and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Rite
yeah.
Aid and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's their second location. They have an original location in Kirkland.
I didn't know they had
So they're
macaroons.
family owned and they started during COVID also. So just like really
Yeah.
awesome to
That's maybe a little dangerous that I now know that they have
pop in and
macarons.
support. Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, should I go 4-pack or 6-pack?
Way too close to home.
Yeah. Very
Too
close
close
to home. Yeah, I
Literally.
can literally from here
Yeah.
get.
Like, I'll be there.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
All right. Well, this is all absolutely fascinating. I hope as many
Thank
people as
you.
possible find out about Charles
For
PLC.
sure.
We will do our best to kind of promote and talk about, Charles
Thanks.
Playbox and
It's a great service.
Yeah.
People don't think about, and it's
yeah, I wish
good.
I'd have thought about it when my kids were little.
Sure.
Not doing it, but finding that kind of service, because clothing
Yeah.
is expensive, and it's it doesn't last very long in your home
It
because of
doesn't,
how quickly
yeah.
they grow. So
I've got a lot of friends that we've met through school and things that are supporters, and they don't
Great.
even if they don't, they'll ask me like, hey, I need some leggings, I need this, like, what do you have? That I just give it, like, here, I got like 2 pairs, I don't know, they give me so many clothes, and it's awesome. I just feel I'm like a kid's clothing broker.
Yeah.
I'm
I like that.
I'm the middleman.
Clothing broker. Absolutely.
But,
That's
yeah.
fantastic. All right. Well,
It's fun.
at the end of the show, we'll give our listeners details of where they can find you and where they can sign up for your
Thank
subscription
you.
service. But before that, we're going to take a really quick break, and then we're going to come back with the real estate roundup. Troy, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. We'll be right back after this very short break. Stay tuned.
Hello, listeners. I have a new go-to place in town, Vaughn's 1000 Spirits. Woodinville, West Valley, just across the street from Janik Winery. Seattle's famous sourdough pizza and pasta. My favorite is their Northwest King salmon pasta. Comes with San Juan Island mushrooms, Sicilian spice, lemon, and cream sauce. Their bar has one of the biggest selections of fine spirits around. Do you know about the Waggering Wheel? Go during happy hour. It's super fun. There's a lively bar, dining room, and a huge patio. Did I mention they won Best Burger in Washington for 2023? Free valet parking daily. Go check them out.
Welcome back to TLC 10 Life Community Podcast. We have had a great conversation with Maggie from Child's Playbox in our Community Connection segment. Now we're going to jump into the real estate roundup. Are you ready for this one, Troy?
Ready as I'll
Okay.
ever be.
All right. Question of the week. So there is this term that gets bandied around between real estate professionals, and it is house hacking. Sounds pretty scary, and when I first heard it, I was like, house hacking? Are you chopping up houses? What are you doing? But I now know that house hacking means something completely different. So Troy, what does it mean?
House hacking is kind of like chopping up houses, but you're chopping up the payments. So basically you, like I bought my first house. The first house I ever bought was actually a rental that I was in, and I rented it with 3 other buddies. And it was a duplex, so upstairs, downstairs, 2 kitchens. So I ended up buying that and continuing to rent it out to buddies, and my payment was super low. So I was hardly paying anything to live in there.
Right.
So that's, in today's environment where interest rates are up a little bit and your affordability index is lower, prices are still maintaining on the market, it might be a good idea to look into, what can you do to house hack? Maybe buy a duplex, buy something with extra income. If your situation warrants it, have roommates, because it's still a great time to get into real estate and build that the net worth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I think people are frightened of the market right now because of interest rates being at their 21-year high, I think it is right now. And so this idea of being able to house hack. So if we could break it down into, do you have 3 ways that somebody could house hack and get themselves into a property that's maybe kind of scared of the market right now?
Yeah, so if you're looking for a single family house, like a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath house in a suburban neighborhood, might switch your thinking and maybe pay a little bit more money and buy a duplex.
Right.
They don't cash flow as well as other multifamily properties, but it's a way for you to keep your payment maybe under what you would pay for a single family house, and yet have that additional income. And you can stay there a few years and then move out and buy that house and still maintain that those payments that those renters are going to be making on that. And you've got more of a single family house feel because most side-by-side duplexes in the area have like a garage in the middle, so you're not really sharing an interior wall.
Right.
And then you've got a yard. It's typically segregated, so it is more of a single family feel if that's what you're looking for. Or if you're just getting into the market, you've just graduated high school and you've got all this money, and
Where would they get the money from?
After high school.
grandma or something.
Okay.
No, I've got
Congratulations.
Yay.
I've got people that are,
Here's that.
and 18, 19 years old that have bought houses and they've moved all their friends in and they've paid the
That's
mortgage.
amazing.
Yeah.
So that's another way to do
Yeah.
it, but kind of a smaller segment of the market.
Yeah.
We're
And then-
looking too, and I've seen so many houses actually very surprising that have additional units.
Dwelling units,
Yeah,
yeah.
ADUs on top of the
Right.
garage, or a mother-in-law suite, some like in the basement with the extra door somewhere. And I'm like, gosh, this is so nice. I mean, mostly because we need it for actual generational living, you know.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I think if that was not the case, it would be just what you're saying. You know, you have that extra income.
Yeah, and around here in Woodinville, there are a lot of ADUs, and ADUs are allowed to be built on your property as well. So that could be
That's
another
awesome.
way to house hack, is
Yeah.
build an ADU and rent that out as a Airbnb, VRBO.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We should probably just clarify that you can't just go ahead and build something on your
No, I mean, you have to go through the permitting process.
There's
obviously.
rules.
Just in case somebody says,
They're like-
"Oh, they said on that podcast you could just."
They're,
no, you
they're
can't.
allowed, yeah. I think city said it was okay. No.
Yeah.
But those are ways to house hack for sure. Other ways could be the multi-generational living.
Okay.
We've had two families move in together where there's the space like that. So there's just a ton of ways to think maybe just outside the box if you're not quite finding what you're looking for, or if you're concerned about the market rates today. You know, there are ways to get into real estate and build that wealth and without breaking the bank per se.
Yeah, I think the moral of that story is basically, it can be daunting and a little scary, but there are ways around it. So talk to a professional. It's not, there might be something you're not thinking about, creative
For
ways
sure.
to get
For
into.
sure.
Yeah, it's just the term house hacking is just a little strange.
Yeah,
It is.
does. I wouldn't have guessed it was regards to payments.
Yeah.
Hacking up your payment.
Hacking up your payment. Yeah, I like that. Well, I'm glad you could clarify that for our listeners. Appreciate it. All right. So if somebody wants to house hack Troy, where would they get hold of you to talk about that and go into more details?
Best way is tendhometeam.com, or just Google Troy Anderson, Woodinville area.
Or they can jump on the phone.
Yeah, 206-504-3660.
All right. And then Maggie, if people want to find out more about your service, they want to sign up for your service, or just,
Yeah.
everything about you, where can they connect with you?
They can email me directly at maggie@childsplaybox.com, or the website is childsplaybox.com.
Do you
So
have
super simple.
social media?
We do. Same.
Watch.
Child's Playbox on Instagram, Child's Playbox on Facebook.
Perfect.
Yeah, I would love to chat with anybody and get some
Yeah.
new inventory and send out some
Yeah.
good inventory and
And
keep
even
it
if you
going.
just have questions, they can
Of
connect
course,
with you
yeah,
and find
yeah.
out more details about
Full
it.
of
what it's
resources.
all about. Wonderful. All right. Well, that is all we have time for this week. So
I forgot something.
no, I'm getting there. If you enjoyed the show,
Porch pounder.
what?
okay,
did
you
mention
better
porch
explain
pounder.
that to Maggie before we finish.
Just about every show we mention the porch pounder.
As in the drink that that you.
Easy to drink on,
Easy
a,
to
on
drink,
an afternoon.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
did not have that today, by the way.
No, we had a very elegant
Yes.
wine that really does need savoring.
Porch sipper.
Porch sipper.
No,
Yeah,
doesn't have
I
the
don't
same.
know.
Doesn't have the same ring.
We just went off on a
Like-
big tangent.
I know, we like to keep it fun around here.
We do indeed.
So if you like the show, please subscribe. And if you're watching us on YouTube, also subscribe and hit the dinger so you're notified when there's a new video.
Yep, absolutely. So, well,
Great.
thanks, Maggie, for
Yeah,
being on the
thanks,
show.
Thanks,
Really
Maggie.
appreciate
Super
it.
fun.
Thanks
All
for being
right.
a part of the community.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Lovely to meet you all both and
Yeah.
be here.
Awesome.
Sounds
Thanks.
great. All right, well, we'll see you next
Till
time.
next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, you got to hear about this amazing spot I stumbled upon, Northwest Spirits Distillery. It's located right in the heart of Woodinville wine and spirit country, near all the good stuff like Novelty Hill Janik and Chateau Ste. Michelle. They've got the tastiest spirit flights, killer cocktails, and delicious Northwest grub from their sister restaurant, Vaughn's 1000 Spirits. The best part, it's a family-run business going strong for 5 generations. They've got all sorts of fun events too, private bookings, trivia night, and even bark and bourbon where you can bring your furry buddy along for the ride. How cool is that? Check out their website for the latest happenings. Seriously, don't miss out on this gem. Northwest Spirits is where the celebration is at. NorthwestSpirits.com. Bye.